Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Answering the Bell with Stormybman, our Sunday morning call-in for this Sunday, October 1st, 2023. The year is rolling along. And for those of you who aren't prepared, you're just going to be gathered like moss as the stone rolls forward in the calendar year of 2023. I want to say salute to everybody out there. Welcome this morning. Hope you woke up in your right frame of mind and that you are blessed with health and well-being. We're coming off of a weekend of numerous fights. Man, there were fight cards up the wazoo this weekend. And of course, culminating with what we would call the big fight, the showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Charlo, which was broadcast on Showtime pay-per-view. But from Friday night through the weekend, my goodness, we've had some good fights. And even next week, we got more fight cards on the horizon. We get a chance maybe to talk about that a little bit as well. But for those of you who like to cry sour grapes about the sport overall, because you don't necessarily get the matchups that you like to see, that can be attributed to promoters, fighters themselves, and also the public demand. Because as long as you continue to financially endorse events over great matchups, they will feed you what they want through that very thin pipeline of diluted boxing. So you have to be on top of your sensibilities when it comes down to this sport. Pick your matches that you support financially like you pick your fruit and vegetables from the fresh produce department. Yeah. So, we're here this morning, and there's a lot to get to. Last night when I did the post-fight show, I did not get to talk about the undercards of the pay-per-view event. And so one of the things that I would like to do this morning is kind of open up with talking about that, because I think that what transpired needs to be touched upon. I mean, I could just hold back and wait and do videos, but at the same time, while I've got a viewing and listening audience where participation can be a part of the process, I would be considerate to think of you all as we do this. So I think that's the route I'll go. I can still do some videos, but you gotta give credit where credit is due. I want to say that the post-fight show from last night had almost 3,000 views. Lots of people tuning in for that. And I know what that's all about. That was a demographic portion that was tuning in to see what was being said, you know, because people get up in arms about regional and national pride, things of that nature. But Stormy don't feed the trolls in that. Stormy doesn't participate in the foolishness of that. The talk that I have on the sport of boxing is more from a cerebral standpoint, and if some or none are up for that, so be it. I will not be deterred. But that type of foolishness will be denied. You see, life is about choices, huh? You can choose to drink a can of LaCroix, or you could drink a can of Coca-Cola. Now, which one has the proprieties that are going to affect you badly over the long and short term? You already know. But that ain't going to stop you from getting another case of the double C, huh? Yeah. Let's see who we got in the building this morning. Some people have shown up giving views, but they've decided not to support once again. Are we surprised? Absolutely not. Antonio MMA, my brother, is out there saying, salute, Sensei. I hope you're training and everything is going well. Antonio, good to see you. 704 Joe is out there this morning saying, good morning. Let's go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have one of those that had been peeping through the blinds in the bushes and decided to stop in by saying salute. JR, we see you. Dritch Richardson in the building saying salute, Stormy, top of the morning, and giving his thoughts on Charlo. Yeah. My brother Drew Titan LLC is in the building. What's good with you, man? Kano Local Sports is back with us saying salute to all. Hashtag LDBC. Yeah. Judah Ben Israel is out there saying peace. Appreciate you. Good to see you. I'm glad that my brethren has taken out the trash. Yeah. And Kano Loco is right. We are not here for the nonsense. Has anything that I've said over, what has it been now, the first 15 minutes, been nonsense? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Well articulated thoughts from a man to other men and women who participate on a week in and week out basis. You see? If you go dumpster diving, what do you expect to find? Huh? Somebody else's waste. Is that not a truism? Yeah. So, one of the fights to kick off the card last night that I found entertaining, and I had listened to various comments about this fight, kicking off the card. Elijah Garcia came in against Armando Resendez as the opening for the pay-per-view event. Now, these two middleweights brought youth and vigor and desire to the fight. What I found interesting was that the two gentlemen gave us more than what some more advanced fighters, more experienced fighters give. Now, Resendez entered with his age of 24 years, a record of 14-1 with 10 KOs. He's from Mexico. He stands 5'10" with a reach of 69 inches. His last loss prior to last night was to Marcos Hernandez, and that was in September of 2021. He lost a unanimous decision. But he is known for stopping Jarrett Hurd earlier this year, March of 2023, when Hurd had a severe lip laceration in their fight, and he won that bout. Hurd was there to be hit, and Resendez did the hitting. Now, Garcia, someone whom I've actually made a video about, is a young fighter, Mexican American. He's 20 years old. He stands 6 foot tall. And I do believe that they thought they were going to get Resendez to get caught in exchanges and things of that nature. But what I noted about Garcia when I spoke of him before was he seems to be, as a southpaw, taught well and can punch with sharp, precise shots. What I noticed about his fight last night, he placed a number of shots so well that when they landed flush, when they landed sharply, he got immediate results. Early in the fight, he really rocked and staggered Resendez, but it was a straight left on the chin. And I'm talking about one of those classic old-time fighters blows to the chin. It's like right on the button. And he does that very well. That's technique. That's taught. You don't just come out there fighting like that. And at the age of 20, to see him show that type of offensive ability, he looks years ahead of himself. Now, defensively, he's going to have to touch up some things, but not a lot. Because what I recognize is he puts himself in a position to nail you a shot, but he's got to be close enough to get you. Now, he doesn't like to box on the outside a lot, but he can counterpunch with the best of them. And for such a young fighter, he totally took Resendez out of his place of comfortability easily. And the debilitating knockout that followed in the 8th round came off of a double hook, right hook, to the body, the liver, and to the chin. Wonderful combination. And what do I talk about a lot of these fighters of today? That they don't like to throw combination punches? Well, my goodness, this kid, Garcia, can put them together. Again, just touch up your defense a little bit better, and you're going to be a formidable force to be reckoned with in the middleweight division. Some very good stuff happening. Very good stuff happening. But that was an interesting fight. I had listened to some commentary on it, and a lot of people felt like these two were like rock'em sock'em robots out there, but I didn't really take it like that. I took it like these two young men were trying to impose their will on the other because they wanted to get to the next step. But Garcia, who is now 16-0 with 13 KOs, is well on his way. Well on his way. And again, I spoke about him his last time out because that was back in April of this year when he took on Kevin Zambrano. And that was a unanimous decision win. But it was a good fight. He got good rounds out of it. And that was on the undercard of Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia. Yeah. So with that fight, we were well on our way last night. And I have to admit, I didn't mind that opening stanza. I didn't mind it one bit. Now, what followed that was the Yordenis Ugas versus Mario Barrios match. Now, that fight saw Ugas down twice. And as I may have suggested in the video fight breakdown, Ugas is 37, listed as 37. But from experience, we've known and come to learn that a lot of times the Cuban fighters, their ages have been falsified. Some of these men are older. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them are older than advertised. And that's what we saw. An aging fighter coming back off of a long layoff. What can you say? I mean, haven't we seen fighters get to a certain point and they fall apart? Ugas' last fight against Earl Spence was a terrible outing for him. He was stopped when his eye was swollen shut. Face was bleeding, nose was bleeding very badly. And that fight was in April of 2022. So he hadn't fought in over a year. And Barrios, who is not the biggest puncher in the world, but has seemingly filled out at welterweight quite well. How did this guy get down to junior welterweight? I can't tell you. Standing at 6 foot tall and being able to cut all that weight, but Barrios boxed very well last night and showed us something that he hadn't used a lot of, and that was a good piston-like jab. You see, when people can box, when they learn how to use skills and tools, instead of just going out there and unzipping their pants, trying to show the world how big their cojones are. Remember, there's always bigger cojones, huh? Always. Huh? Keep your fly zipped, huh? And let the zip come from that jab. Yeah. Yeah, man. Go back to the chat for a moment. See if we got some more people in the building. Main Biker, what's good with you? Good day to you as well. Jay is in the building saying salute to y'all. Salute, Sensei. Learn what's happening. And Mr. Shelton, what's going on? He says props to Barrios. He fought well. He boxed. Hey, Mr. Shelton, don't do timeouts on this channel, bro. Don't do timeouts. We do throwouts, huh? So I think somebody already handled that business, so you didn't have to go behind that. So if they already gone, let them stay gone, huh? No lifelines, no second chances. You know? When you cut to wound, huh? Hopefully you hit an artery and let them bleed out. Yeah. No timeouts though. You hit them at the knees and then they can't go nowhere. And then you can have at them as you will. Yeah. For some that may be wondering, like, you know, Stormy ain't showed his face this morning. Well, I'm still recovering from this procedure that I have been treatment on my face here, and until I can get back to my confidence in my handsomeness, y'all gonna have to deal with other aspects of what we do here. And I thought I'd put Iron Mike up there since we had the Heartless Lion last night. Let me put the piece of iron up there this morning, huh? Yeah, I said it. Junior the Truth, what's good with you, man? Good to see you out there. Listen, Ugas tried, but from what I understand, he was formidable in the amateurs. But I can see now why he has the losses that he has in the pros. Because is it possible that in the amateurs he was a little older and stronger than most of the opponents that he faced? Not that he couldn't box. He does have basic boxing ability, but I spoke in my breakdown video that he and Barrios are similar in their boxing ability and style. The difference is Mr. Barrios is younger, and oftentimes in boxing that sets it apart right there. Barrios is now entering his prime at 28. Dennis, Ugas is 10 years beyond that for what they're telling us. For what they're telling us. But he might even be older than that. So understand what you're looking at. Barrios got into a groove by the time we got to the later rounds. Let's say like from rounds 7 on. He started feeling that jab. He started letting it go. He started moving around a little bit and giving some angles. And the result was a unanimous decision. Absolutely. Yeah. Kamara Stepping Razor, what's good with you? Says, keep teaching, Sensei. Learn says the punch resistance to his eye has gone. It's not that the punch resistance. That's build up wear and tear. Even though Earl did him pretty bad around that eye, from what we understand, he suffered severe eye damage in the fight with Spence, and it bled for a long time after that. Those are the type of things when we talk about the sport of boxing, you never know how you're going to come out of the ring when you go in. That's why you want to be compensated properly. That's also why you want your corner to take better care of you than some of these corner men take care of these guys. I think they should have stopped Ugas on the stool a few rounds earlier. They kept pushing him out there saying the doctor's going to stop it. Well, if the doctor didn't stop it, why you keep putting him out there? He's not winning. And he's taking more damage. He's got a beautiful wife and children and everything, and you guys are just shoving him out there. But understand this. You're working his corner. And this might be the last time you work his corner. So where's the preservation for the fighter? Stupid. "704 says, you went hard on Charlo. He deserved it." I didn't go hard on Charlo. Charlo went hard on our wallets. Our pay-per-view charges. Because he put up a non-effort. Huh? I've already said what would have been suffice. But that was not part of his plan. He may as well been wearing an all-white suit trying not to get dirty. Huh? Yeah. David Scott III, what's good, man? Ain't seen you in a minute. Dodge J says facts. Yeah, this is where we are. People don't want to hear that kind of stuff, though. They don't want to hear it. Lie to me. Just lie to me. No. King Vonnie, what's good with you? $80-something views, 31 likes. But they come around like mosquitoes, huh? That's why I keep those damn teak candles, huh? to keep the mosquitoes away in the summertime. And I got a bug zapper too, huh? A bug zapper. You know what's cool about the bug zappers in the summertime? They got those little blue lights on them. When the mosquitoes start flying around and they get attracted to that light and you hear that little sizzle sound, zip, 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 zip. Yeah, I love it. I'm a sadist when it comes to that kind of thing. So I like when my people in blue handle that business over here in the chat. Same thing. Zip, 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 zip. Yeah. Sounds like music to me. Yeah, Junior, he went hard on our wallets. I'm going to say it like it is. $84.99 for that. Hell, your Dennis Ugas is out there 2,000 years old trying to win against Mario Barrios. Huh? He was trying. But he just, he's not top of the line anymore. But at least he was giving it a go. What was Mel doing? And like I said, I wanted to talk about these guys because I didn't get a chance to do that last night. But Barrios' jab, he pulled that sucker out of the toolbox. He blew the dust off. He said, I think I'm going to try this tonight. And it worked to perfection. See what happens when you try to use ability, skills? If he had broke that out against Tank Davis, he would have won that fight too. 6 foot tall, and you letting that guy, little short shrimp, come in there on the inside and go upside your head. You needed your head to be gone upside because guess what he did against Ugas? Ugas landed a couple of shots last night, but that guy was boxing. He was keeping Ugas off of him, huh? Isaiah GQ, what's happening with you? Demon Kennedy, what's happening? Jason says, Ugas aged badly in that ring. No, he aged before last night. Y'all just didn't see it because he hadn't been back in there since he fought Spence last year. But when you look at, I'm telling you, when you look at that stat under age, 37, and his nationality, Cuban, from Cuba, not Cuban American, but from Cuba. When you see that, you can easily put about 5 years on that. Yeah. That's why some of y'all screaming, Frank Sanchez, be careful, huh? Because Frank Sanchez ain't found out that they got hairline creations out here now. He getting that damn James Brown, the sportscaster, Peebo Bryson hairline, huh? That tells you everything you need to know. Let the hairline go. It's gonna go way back until the top of your dome. Yeah! Old ass. Oh, he's 28. If he's 28, I'm 15. Okay? If he's 28, I'm 15. And when I was 15, I was handsome. cherubic. You understand? Full of vitality. Sanchez fights about as often as the rest of the PBC fighters because that works for him. Huh? He's long in the tooth. people screaming, Frank Sanchez, like he's gonna really come in and do something. He need to go grab that seat that's right next to King Kong Ortiz, because he's only a couple of years younger. Salute to my brother Drew Titan LLC out there back in the super chat. He says, Ugas is my age, right? And if you notice, he done did something and had all the hair removed, huh? They can't see a lick of gray nowhere if I use near. Yeah. You won't see the gray in his eyebrows, on his beard, on the top of his dome, or nothing. The dude is, listen, he's old, all right? So while y'all was out there cheering for Earl beating him up, you should have recognized that Earl was beating up on a senior citizen of boxing, huh? And the only reason he looked good against Manny Pacquiao because they was closer in age than any damn thing. Manny was 40 plus, and so was he, damn it. So that was two Geritol fighters in there with each other. That's why he looked good against Manny. Shit. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Shit. You know I'm telling the truth about this, man. JJ says a Cuban 28 is 48 in American years. Pretty much. You remember when the Cubans were real good in the Olympics back in the early 80s, before the 84 Olympic team, how they was like dominating and stuff? All them grown men with beards and mustaches and everything taking on our poor little youthful USA fighters. Man. Crazy. And now they doing the same thing over in Europe with the Ukrainians and the Russians and Germans. Same thing. They putting them old men in there. Vasil Lomachenko. I think he was 30 years old when he was boxing in the Olympics. Beating up on those 17-year-old kids and stuff, man. Oh, yeah, he's 402. Yeah, I guess so. Huh? And as I say all of this, just keep looking at that picture of Mike Tyson shadow boxing there. Imagine him hitting somebody upside his head with those punches, bro. You see? Everything has a certain symmetry. David Scott is laughing. Cali World is out there laughing. Brooklyn Born says, damn. David Scott says, damn, not the Geritol. Listen, man, you know, when I say these things, people can get mad or whatever, but, you know, don't be so sensitive about these guys. Because they know what they're doing, but you got to know what you're looking at. But Barrios did exactly what he was supposed to do. He gained a greater deal of confidence over those last 4 rounds. Had he fought the earlier portion of the fight with that same type of confidence, he may have stopped Ugas before they got to those late portions of the rounds. And see, that's why when you fight opposition that's quality or high caliber, it lets you know whether or not you really belong. Allow that to happen. Allow that to be a part of your process. Yeah, David Scott, you're right. Teofimo Stevenson never turned pro. He was etched in the amateur career forever. Now imagine you're a heavyweight and you winning amateur bouts, and they put you in, like, oh, we're going up for the Olympics, and you looking over there at Teofimo Stevenson, all of 33 years old, and you like, why don't y'all just put me in the ring with George Foreman? You know what I'm saying? They tried to offer the guy a few $1 million to come out of there and fight one of the professionals like Ali or whatever. He wouldn't do it. Nah, that's all right. I'm good. Lauren says that was supposed to be Keith Thurman. Listen, man, Keith Thurman don't want to fight nobody, man. Keith Thurman want to make the maximum amount of money so he could go back to playing his flute and trying to add new pages to the Kama Sutra. Huh? That's all he interested in. You see, he got confused all over again, trying to grow a ponytail again. He was fine for a moment. He had come to his senses and cut that stuff off. Now he don't fell right back into the Steven Seagal state of mind. And you know how Steven Seagal look now, right? Big old pot belly like Elvis out there trying to make straight to video action films. Get out of here with that foolishness, bro. You're 70 years old. But some of y'all will rent or buy his straight-to-video movies. The dude was balding when he made his first film, Above the Law. He was balding. He had the damn alopecias and everything coming in there. And then now all of a sudden he got a straight hairline now. That's a wig. Just like when Michael Jackson died, they found out Michael was wearing a wig. Huh? He was bald. When they took him out of there, he was bald. You can see the 3rd-degree burns on his head and everything from when he had the Coca-Cola, Pepsi commercial, whatever it was, fire. That's what messed him up. Anyway. But I'll do y'all this solid. I'll open up the line. 704 want to call in. He wanted to say something. And that's cool. That's what the call-in show is for. But I want to talk about Caroline Dubois. She won her first world title last night as well. The IBO lightweight championship. 1 round destruction over that girl, Rodriguez. Caroline ain't no joke, man. That's like Clarissa Shields over there for the UK, but she got punching power. And she's southpaw. She don't be playing around. Kamara, the stepping razor, is asking, Sensei, does Barrios beating Ugas makes Tank's win over Barrios legitimate? Well, Tank's win is legitimate regardless, but you could look at it like Barrios shouldn't have been at junior welter. He should have been at welter. He should have been maturing at welter. He's 28 years old, which means that in his boxing career, he could still fight a few more years as long as he hasn't sustained a lot of damage, right? But with a record of 27-2, let's just say he wanted to fight 10 more times. He'd be probably near by the time he finishes, a junior middleweight. So he was really depleting himself being down there at 140, man. 6 foot tall, 71-inch reach. Do you realize those are like Tommy Hearns-like dimensions? Think about it. Where's 704 Joe at when you need him? Man? He asked for the line to be open. It's open now. Arrow says, Derek lost 7 belts in 3 months. Yeah, he did. Okay, we got 214 in the building. Is that 704 Joe?
Peace. Yes. Good morning.
What's going on, man? Good morning with you. What's happening?
I'm a welterweight fighter. Earl Spence, Dallas, Texas.
Yes,
Peace,
sir.
Peace. Good morning. Man, I got a million questions today, Stormy. We're just going to start out. It's a whole nother direction, but it's boxing. The trilogy with Ali and Ken Norton. Ali won 2, and Ken Norton won 1. Do you think he was robbed out of one of those with Ali? Your opinion.
You can make a case that Ken Norton won all 3, brother.
Oh, shit. I didn't mean to cuss. I didn't mean to cuss. All 3?
All 3.
Okay. Okay.
Do you know the story of Muhammad Ali going to George Foreman's home to talk to George Foreman about coming out of retirement, because George had retired in 1977 after his fight with Jimmy Young. And he went to George and begged George to come out of retirement and knock out Kenny Norton, because he said, I just can't beat the man. He said, listen, if you come out and beat Ken Norton, I'll give you another title shot, George. And George said, I'm sorry, Muhammad, but I'm retired. He said, I'm a preacher now. I'm a minister. I ain't got nothing to do with boxing no more. Ali went to George to ask him to come out of retirement to face Ken Norton, so he wouldn't have to face him like he did in 1978, I think that was, or 77 in Yankee Stadium, when Ken Norton was absolutely robbed on those scorecards when they fought outdoors in the baseball stadium. Ali could not handle Ken Norton.
Okay, I know Ali. He said one of them, he had his head down. He kind of knew on one of them, I know, because I can remember watching the replay, video, like, yeah, man, he won. Y'all gave it to me, he won. He had that look in his eye.
But since you asked, check this bit of, excuse me, I'm tongue-tied. Check this bit of trivia out. Did you know that all of Ali's losses, with the exception of one, came from fighters who were all trained by the same man, Eddie Futch?
Yeah, I heard you say that before, man.
Yeah.
I heard you say that before. Peace.
Ken Norton, Joe Frazier, Larry Holmes, Leon Spinks. Eddie Futch had trained all those guys.
Oh, man.
Now, what does that tell you?
Eddie's a bad motherfucker.
Well, no, but look at it like this. Because it would be different if they were all 6'3" or 6'4" like George Foreman and had punching power and everything. But all four of those fighters had different styles. Ken Norton had that Quasimodo style with the crab defense. Joe Frazier was a slugger who would dip and bob and weave. Larry Holmes was more of the ilk of Ali's style, that stand up straight and jab and move on your feet. And Leon Spinks was a whirlwind of activity. So all of these fighters had different styles, but Eddie Futch was able to train them all to defeat the greatest. Now, what does that say about that man's boxing acumen?
It says a lot, man. It says a lot.
It says that he's diversified in his ability to coach you on the talent that you have, which is why when people want to give a trainer like Derek James so much damn credit when he hasn't really earned the stripes yet. You understand? Because you have to be able to not just coach someone to a victory, but coach someone who has suffered setbacks, or someone who is going up against all odds, an inconquerable foe, someone that has yet to show chinks in the armor or be given a blueprint how to defeat. That's when you know that you're talking about a guru. You see?
Yeah. I guess he was a trainer, but he could train a slugger. He could train a fighter. He could train somebody who fight on their toes like Ali.
Mel Charlo had the tools to defeat Canelo. He did.
Yeah.
But the tools were not his problem. His problems are the type of problems you can't see with the eye.
Yeah.
And because you can't see them with the eye, James obviously hasn't become diversified enough to help those type of fighters win. If you think that I don't know what I'm talking about, let me give you an example of someone who really was one of the best of all time at that and fell off tremendously. You're looking at him on my screen right now.
Yep.
Custy Amato took that kid and turned him into a fierce fighting machine that would one day become the heavyweight champion of the world. But when he got away from all the people who had built him up to that point of where he was, he had nothing left but then who he truly was. And what he truly was a gentleman that lacked confidence, discipline, and the accountability for, I know that I'm slacking, I know that I'm lacking, I know that I need to do this, but let me change. See, he didn't do that. He got comfortable in his own skin. You see? That's why you see him on YouTube now. He got his show and everything. He proudly sitting back there smoking drugs and all of that stuff. But dude, he's got a cloud, and I'm not talking about that from which he smokes, but he's got a cloud over his career because he never maxed or optimized his potential.
Yeah. Last night was crazy because we talked about it last week. Charlo's training at home, man. You know, going home to a mansion, laying up with your wife, getting to see your children, showing off your mansion, swimming in the pool, saying this is the life. This is the life. You got the biggest fight of your career, and you want to talk about mansions and lay up with wives.
Listen, 704 Joe, check this out. Since you mentioned that, now there was someone in the chat earlier talking about people cooking me and everything, right? But check this out. When I talked about that last week, and you go to other channels, you listen to other content creators, did anybody else bring that up?
Not that I know of. I saw it, man. When I saw that, I was like,
no, but I'm just saying, but did I not air that? Did I not give that as a precursor of what I didn't like, and I had a problem with that? Did I not do that?
Yes, Stormy, you did. Yeah.
So check it out. The guy don't pay me, but he pays Derek James.
Yeah.
Derek James could have walked away from him and said, you know what, son, if you want to do this way, my reputation is on the line. I got to go. You see?
Yeah. No.
That means, hold on, that means that James is only in it for the money.
Yeah.
Now, if James is only in it for the money, how can you take with, you look at a trainer like Eddie Futch, who turned down Riddick Bowe a couple of times when his people were trying to bring him to Eddie Futch. And Eddie Futch was like, this kid ain't got it. He don't want it. So Eddie Futch worked with him. He became the heavyweight champion of the world. And then he got away from Eddie Futch, and look what happened. Or Eddie Futch walked away from him, and look what happened.
Yeah.
But not only that, if you don't think that James is all about the bag, answer me this one question that I raised last night on my post-fight show. Why is Anthony Joshua in his camp? That kid brought bad juju to the Derek James stable. Everybody that has fought since Anthony Joshua joined that camp has had bad outings. Frank Martin didn't lose, but look at what happened with his career and this thing with the Shakur Stevenson stuff. All of that stuff is connected, brother. Earl Spence has lost. You look at Jamel now, he has lost. I said it last night, but you know what? You ain't gonna hear nobody else say it. You might hear him say it now that I've said it. Okay? But I put this stuff out there because, like I said before, if the trainer sets his foot in stone and say, this is how I'm doing it, I need you to buy into what I'm saying. You might not like it, but you're going to love me later when you have made the sacrifices that you need to make to get to where you want to be. Who the hell pays for a college course and comes into the auditorium and tells the professor what the agenda is in the class?
Yeah. Another problem that I had with Janelle, how much he respects Canelo. He was almost like a child meeting Michael Jackson for the first time, man. He was starstruck, and he was afraid at the same time, man, especially during the weigh-in. Oh, man, he couldn't even talk, man. I was like, look at this, man. Look at this. It was for a check, man. It was for a check. He didn't try. And I heard you. And it's crazy, Stormy, when I'm listening to you after the fight. Sometimes it's 12, 1 o'clock. I doze off.
Right.
But when you scream and hit that mic, I wake right back up, man. Because the phone is right there, man. I wake up. You wake me right up, man. You woke me up about 3 times talking about Charlo last night, man.
But you know what? It's like, because, listen, I don't hate that kid. I wanted the best for him. But he didn't bring his fucking best, bro. He did not.
He didn't even try, man.
He didn't even try. You're absolutely 1,000% correct. He didn't even try. And I'm looking at Derek James, and I'm like, what are you doing?
I'm like you when you were talking about Ugas. Man, if you're gonna try, at least go all the way out and if you're gonna get knocked out, at least go all the way out, man. If you're gonna run to a brick wall, hell, fuck it, go full speed. Shit. Go, man. Go.
And it's not about throwing caution in the wind. Please, because don't let it get misconstrued. It's about putting forth an effort that will give you some type of immediate result, meaning that you're either breaking ice or you're going to get frozen. You see? And that's pretty much it at the end of the day. You got a loss on your record anyway. Go out there and see if you can be a badass.
Okay.
But that's not but see, I'm telling you, that's why you hear me say these tissue paper ass fighters of today. All of them aren't tissue paper, but a lot of your favorites who they seemingly have put up on certain positions in aspects of the sport to represent, they got you fooled, man. They ain't got me fooled. Remember Stephen Fulton going over there to Japan earlier this year?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Remember what people were saying about him?
Yeah.
Oh, he's an excellent boxer. He needs to be on the pound for pound list. He needs this and he needs that. And he was barely getting beyond Figueroa.
Yeah.
And Figueroa ain't no damn Monster Inoue. And Monster Inoue is fighting out of an area where they possibly might be cheating or whatever, but you're going to go over into the lion's mouth of that you have no control over and everything, knowing before you go over there. But instead of saying like Floyd used to say, like Mike Tyson used to say, like Roy Jones used to say when they were in a position of leverage, bring yours over here. Okay?
Yeah.
Bring it over here. Because that's how you know if they really want the fight or not. Remember, Joe Calzaghe stayed over there until those guys got old. Hopkins and Jones.
Yeah.
But when he was prime and they were prime, he stayed over there. Henry Mascus stayed over there when Roy Jones was light heavyweight champion, wouldn't come over here. Why? The Klitschko's came over here and got both of their asses whooped. And the next time they got a hold of titles and everything, they had all their defenses over there, didn't they?
Yes, sir.
Why? Do you not see something that is very consistent? I don't have to tell you what it is. Just read the fine print.
Okay, I got another question. Stormy, what's the difference between a lead right and a jab? Or is it the same thing?
No, it's not the same thing.
Okay.
A lead right is a punch that is thrown by a fighter that figures that their opponent is too slow and too wide open to get out of the way of their power hand landing when executed properly and timed properly. That's what that is. Because your jab is actually your door knocker. You're knocking on the door with your jab. You're judging the distance. You're gauging. You're gauging how close you are and how much of an impact you can make by throwing power after that. So if you've got down to a certain range within the opponent that you're facing and you decide to throw a lead, what that means is that you have determined that the other guy can't get out of the way of your power.
Gotcha.
Now, in the fight with Joe Joyce and Zhang Zhili last week, what you saw, Zhang was starting to throw after the second round, he was starting to throw the lead left because he's a southpaw. He started throwing the lead left. And Joe kept leaning over to Joe's own left to try to avoid that punch. And he set him up for the right hook. Because that was the punch that knocked him out.
Got you. Okay. I got another question.
Yes, sir.
I got a question. Stormy, let's just say if Mayweather and Pacquiao would have fought, let's just say 5-6 years earlier, and I don't know if Pacquiao was on the juice, but I think he was on the juice. What do you think would have happened when Pacquiao was in his prime?
Well, you have to understand that when they fought, I don't think Floyd was in his prime.
Yeah, that's why I said maybe 5-6 years earlier they would have fought when Pacquiao was hot, when he was just killing everything and everybody wanted to fight.
The fight wouldn't have been made because Floyd could recognize that something was up with Manny, so he was asking for Olympic-style testing. And that's not something that Manny and his people wanted to do. They went on and fought all the guys that they could fight and get away with that with until finally they decided to relent and go ahead and fight Floyd. But understand that the sensationalism of Manny knocking people out and stuff like that stopped after the Floyd fight, didn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, he was dirty now. He was dirty. I can't prove it, but hell yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Dude, you cannot go from 112 pounds up to 147 knocking men out like he was doing. You can't.
Yeah. I always knew it. Can't prove it, but yeah.
Did you see Conor Ben last week too?
Oh, I didn't have to see him, but yeah, go ahead. You can speak on it.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see it. I prefer to watch it. Yeah.
He was fighting in Florida, not in the UK. Where was the spectacular what they call that explosiveness and everything? Where was all of that? He was hitting the guy, but the guy wasn't going nowhere.
Yeah.
That's because he was fighting at 154. But he had been fighting at 147, which is one of the reasons why Chris Algieri wasn't allowed to be on the broadcast, because, you know, Chris Algieri is a former conquered foe of his, and he was allegedly on juice when he fought Chris Algieri. So Chris Algieri has got an axe to grind. about this guy popping dirty and being allowed to fight. So they didn't let Chris Algieri, who has a right to be on the air and tell the truth, they kept him off of the air. They kept him off of the broadcast.
Yeah.
See, people don't talk about that either. This is probably the first you've heard about that. Me mentioning that. I'm not saying I'm some guru telling, but what I'm saying is I know what's happening. And the fact that they don't let Chris Algieri, who had been broadcasting for a while, a few years with these guys, but they take him off of the broadcast because they slipped Conor Ben on the broadcast. He wasn't originally on there. Hearn got him in at the 11th hour as soon as they found an opponent that they thought that could be a good. And then what does Conor say when the fight is over? Oh, I needed the rounds. No, fool. You didn't have that extra do-it fluid in your veins. That's why you couldn't get him up out of there.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to let somebody else have it. Stormy is great.
That's all you got, man?
That's all I got.
Oh, man.
I'm glad your surgery went well, man.
Well, we'll see. I'm still working on some things, but
hey,
yeah.
I have allergic reactions. I have to stay in the house for a week at a time sometimes, man.
Yeah, I understand.
Never know what I was allergic to until somewhere around my 30s. It started happening, and ever since then, man, I don't know. But it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
It is. But I'm going to let somebody else call in. They don't call in, I'm going to call right back. I'll come up with something, man.
All right, 704. I appreciate you, man. You know it. Right. And when you notice how whenever you ask me, I have something to respond, right? It's like, even if it ain't what people want to hear.
And you give it to me straight up because you was hitting them Dallas boys.
but hey,
you give it to me straight.
But check this out. I gave you a key that unlocks all the mysteries of that foolishness when I said what I said about AJ joining, didn't I?
Oh yeah, that was definitely a money thing, man.
No. I'm talking about him bringing the bad juju, bro.
Yeah. He don't want to, man. He wants to be a rock star.
Yeah, but see, you had a good thing going, and you brought him over there, and dude, I'm sorry, it just unsettled things. They could have, when I say they, James could have passed on that kid. Yeah, he would have passed up some lucrative paydays because I think he received 2 paydays off of the guy, with the Franklin fight and also this Helenius fight. But I'm sorry, James was doing well without him. And he had 3 men that he had, 2 of them were unified and undisputed champions. And how could you take Mel Charlo out of the sweepstakes of a division that he's ruling as undisputed and drop all of that to go up to fight Canelo 2 weight classes above? Have you lost your damn marbles? Yeah. Now it looks like he ran away from Crawford. Now it looks like he may not have wanted to fight Earl. And we definitely know that he didn't want to fight Tim Tszyu. So now I'm supposed to believe him when he say he coming back down and he wants to reclaim the undisputed title and everything by no, fool, you went for a bag. That means that once you've done that, you will sell yourself out for the dollar easy. And a guy like Tim Tszyu, who now has leverage because he ain't got to leave Australia. And if you go over there, you're going to wither worse than you did against Canelo. Yeah. You can't be trusted anymore. You're done. Done.
Yeah. And I don't think Charlo's brother's coming back, man. I don't see him coming back.
If you've gone insane, how do you come back from being gone insane, bro? Huh?
You know, I don't think he's coming back. Last night he went on a AB tirade, drunk as hell, and it's just
listen. Like I said, if you've gone insane, how do you come back from? Listen, gone insane. Think of those two words. What does insane mean? Huh? What does insane mean?
You are without sanity.
Well, that's easy. I'll pull it up for you right here. Insane means in a state of mind which prevents normal perception, behavior, or social interaction. Seriously, mentally ill. Now, when you put the word gone in front of that, right? Gone insane. Remember, if you listen to my content on my channel, I've said this so many times. I said words are what? Powerful. Right? Haven't you heard me say that?
Yes, sir.
Words are powerful. So if Charlo has gone insane, ain't no coming back, bro. He gone.
Gotcha.
Now, if he appears to be okay, that's pretending. That's temporary. That's just behaving okay for a moment. Once you've stepped off on that plank, bro, like if you murder someone, you're a murderer. You don't come back from that and be like, well, I killed him, but I'm good now. No, you're a killer. Right? Because you broke the line of discipline there. But see, remember, we live in a society now that don't hold people accountable. I talk about that all the time, don't I? If I don't hold you accountable, then you are able to come back and keep doing jacked up things to me and him and her and everybody and harm people. But if I hold you accountable and I put locks on the doors and fences around the house and guards, with pistols, that if you trespass, that's your ass, then it's like, oh, something wrong with him. No, I'm protecting my interests. You see? Now, you just mentioned that he was drunk and everything, but he's supposed to be training, getting ready for a fight, ain't he? What are you doing drunk?
Right.
You see? How can you trust that? Him and his brother are in the same boat, even though they're doing different jacked up things, but they twins. They share the same DNA, and that is something that you need to look at overall more than anything else. But like I said, people don't want to hear the truth. They want to be pampered, powdered, and you put a fresh diaper on their ass when they soil it, But Stormy don't do that around here.
Okay. Sensei, we got 40 plus in the chat, man. I'm gonna let somebody else cook, man. I see some new faces I haven't seen before. So I'm gonna let somebody cook, man.
Okay, man. All right.
I love the show, man.
All right. Peace to you, man. Appreciate you.
All right, peace.
All right.
Yeah.
Brother 704 Joe in the building. Great call. Appreciate. But these are the kind of things, I talk about, and it's like nobody wants to hear this, man. We don't have enough people standing up to form some kind of line. It's like make a perimeter, protect our community, protect our youth, protect our women, protect ourselves. We don't have that. And if people are destroying us from on the inside, I'm doing it for the culture. Really? You the first one we need to get rid of. Yeah. I tell you guys all the time, I say the things that's hard, that's difficult. Okay, we got 601 in the building. Who's calling? What's on your mind?
What's going on with you, Stormy? OG, this is Mr. Shelton.
Hey, Mr. Shelton, what's happening with you, bro? How you doing?
What's going on with you, man?
Man.
I got a question about the what was your take on the Jesus Ramon fight and Erickson losing? How did you have that fight?
Well, as I look at my scorecard right here in front of me, I had it 7-5 for Lubin in how I scored it. I had it 7-5. Couple of swing rounds could be in there, but that was my final score, you know. And I had Lubin definitely winning the last 3 rounds. And when you're scoring boxing, a lot of times that last quarter, those last 3 rounds of the fight, the judges look at that even more than what they look at during the middle portions of the fight, unless they're knockdowns. You know what I mean? Right. If they're knockdowns, then of course you have to score the knockdowns. But those last 3 rounds of the fight, if you look at Ramos, he kind of was just like following him around and stuff. He didn't have a lot of that same intensity that he had when he was banging him to the body and stuff like that in rounds 6, 7, and 8. You know what I mean? And maybe even the 9th. Yeah. And he gave Lubin a chance to score what we call the old hit and run. You know, he was hitting him with a jab, moving around, hit him with a couple of combinations, moving around, but he wasn't bringing that same type of intensity in that last quarter of the fight. And since the fight is broken up into quarters, you talk about the last 3 rounds. And that's what kind of pulled it out for him. Because I was even looking at the final round, the 12th, you know, and I was wondering, was Ramos going to really come at him? And he didn't, you know. And if he had done that, that might have been enough to sway the judges to consider him for a win. But one of those judges' scorecards was ridiculous. It was like he had him ahead, like they didn't give Ramos nothing but maybe 2 rounds or a round or something. That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But my card was 7-5, and you know. Again, like I said, I can admit that there could be a couple of swing rounds. So even in that, you can make it 7-5 the other way. But again, that was mine. And it wasn't like I was pulling for Lubin like that. I was just watching the fight and scoring it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I thought that Ramos won on his activity, but like you said, it wasn't a lot of punches, man. It was really lackluster. I thought that fight would be fireworks.
Right. And see, I'm going to tell you something. I can't be mad at Lubin. Here's why. He tried to go for broke against Sebastian Fundora, and we saw what happened to him. You know what I mean? So some people are feeling like, oh, well, you know, the Fundora fight, you know, maybe he could, you know, try the same thing against this guy. At least the guy ain't 6'7". Right. But did you see Lubin's face after that Fundora fight? Man,
Yeah,
when I looked at that man's face, you know what that makes me think about? Loaded gloves, bro.
Yeah.
Loaded gloves.
He didn't take his gloves off at the end of that fight. Kind of had me scratching my head.
Well, see, this is the thing. Boxing injuries all look similar. Boxing injuries, meaning like if you get a swollen eye from a boxing match, it looks the same. If you get a broken orbital, it looks the same. If you get cuts around the eyes, they look the same. But when you have guys that are starting to have that disfigured look that Lubin seemed to have at the end of that fight,
them big knots on the head.
Dude, that usually is an indication of something else is going on. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And see, the professionals who are ringside and, they are help calling the fights, they don't want to say those things on the air because they don't want to talk about the cheating in the sport of boxing that some fighters are on the bad end of. They don't want to do that. And that type of preservation is what will make certain guys walk away from being commentators and stuff like that. You see, Teddy Atlas, one of the things about him that I didn't really like was he would be truthful in certain instances, biased in others, and then non-disclosing in others still. And I didn't like that inconsistency for him because he knows what goes on. He came up under Custody Amato, who was the pinnacle of a guy who was, what's the word I'm looking for? Custody Amato was leery and untrusting of anybody in the sport of boxing. He just didn't trust people at all. So, he knew the dirty stuff. And Teddy came up under that tutelage. So he knows the dirty stuff. So I don't appreciate him, being silent on certain things and talking overtly on others. It's really ridiculous. You can't be trusted as far as I'm concerned when you be like that.
Yeah, you got a certain agenda towards certain fighters.
Right. That's like him talking about Vasyl Lomachenko was better pound for pound than Bud Crawford and Andre Ward when he was on the air that time and they were standing right there next to him. I'm like, man, if you don't get out of here with that foolishness, how can a guy with 14 fights be better than this Olympian gold medalist and this damn pound for pound fighter who has won in 2-3 weight divisions? How is he better than them? And he only got 14 fights and he lost one of them already. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just because he has Caucasian skin? No. Now check this out. You want to talk about his greatness because he's got Caucasian skin. Oh, he's like no one we've seen before or whatever. Well, what the hell about Willie Pep and guys like that? Those were great fighters from history. You don't want to talk about them, and those are your men. You don't want to talk about them, but you want to try and compare him to Ali. Get the hell out of here. What is that? When you want to compare somebody to greatness, you want to compare him to one of the fighters that we identify with, one of our own. So that means that you're actually saying he's great, but you don't want to acknowledge his greatness until you can find someone that you can kind of push toward that level of greatness because that's the benchmark. Remember when they were doing it with Triple G? They were trying to say he was as good as Marvin Hagler. If you don't get all the hell away out of here with that bullshit.
Right.
Triple G couldn't beat the guys that Hagler beat. The Mustafa Ham shows and the Alan Mentors and all of that. Those guys would whoop Triple G's ass.
Mm-hmm.
John the Beast Mugabe and all them dudes.
Yeah.
Man, Triple G couldn't handle those fighters.
Right. You are exactly right.
And see, what's worse is this. We can be our own worst enemies. Because when we come out here, like I've heard people talk about Lubin, the fight, the performance last night. because he didn't go out there and knock Ramos out. Well, Ramos didn't knock him out either. And just like in the fight where Devin defeated Loma, even if the fight was close, they want to say that, well, I really felt that Haney didn't win. Does the fighter like Haney, does the fighter like Lubin, do they reserve the right to have the benefit of close decisions or in close or decisions in close fights? Or do we all have to be just like in our everyday walk of life, 2 or 3 times better than the opposition just because we are who we are? Think about that for a moment. Think about that for a moment. So Devin don't reserve the right to win a decision in a fight that could possibly be close. But how many of them get decisions that they don't deserve and earn?
Right. You're exactly right. No argument here. Straight fact.
See, and that's the difference. And then you got some of us who go to bat for those folks. They come out, nah, I don't see it that. No, he lost. He this and that. And it's like, wow, you like that against your own kind.
Yep. It's sad.
When Frankie Randall won against Julio Cesar Chavez, do you know those folks were still screaming that Chavez won? Frankie put him down and everything. Huh? And they was like, oh, Frankie won. Frankie won that. Man, Chavez was on the canvas. He got hit all night long. Frankie boxed him. He had more power than Sweet Pea. And he was orthodox. So they couldn't take it. They couldn't take it.
Same thing with the Devin and Loma situation. They can't take it. It is what it is.
But see, this is the thing that I'm saying, Mr. Shelton and chat. Do our fighters not reserve the right to win decisions in close fights? There are bad decisions all over the sport of boxing. But why does there have to be so much vitriol against our guys? So he won a decision that some people felt he should not have gotten. Where is the outrage for what happened in calling the Tyson Fury fight against Deontay Wilder the first go round a draw? Deontay won that fight, bro. Yeah. He won that fight. He was the champion, and Fury was the challenger. They called it a draw. Right. But this is the worst part of it. Now that they've had a trilogy, do you know that these fools go around saying that Deontay lost all 3 fights? Yeah. Like he didn't even win the first fight. It was like they're like, oh well, you know, Fury whooped him 3 times already, so this and that, and they say it so casually. It's in the books as a draw, but he actually won the fight.
Yep, he knocked him out. Yep, and he won, and he should have won 75 if it went to decision.
Dude, this is freaking ridiculous. But where is the outrage for that? Where are the people making videos on that and content covering that and exposing that? Nowhere to be found.
Other than with us.
It's crazy.
We don't want to talk about it.
I look at it like this, man. It's like, this is why I often use the words sensibility, and everything when I'm talking about this sport and what you see. And remember, I always talk about this like this. I said, I see the sport through a different lens. I don't watch it like a fan, like I'm sitting here. I watch it like if I'm involved, like if I'm a trainer, like I've been in the gym with fighters. So I'm looking at it like that. You could like what you like, But when the bell rings, I throw what I like to the side and assess what I'm looking at.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out what the hell was Derrick James thinking for their preparation for the fight last night, because do you realize that Mel Charlo has the same body dimensions, height and reach as Dimitri Bivol?
Mm-hmm.
And he has more athleticism than Bivol. He has faster hands and better mobility than Bivol. But yet and still we saw none of what Bivol did tactically in his approach. None of it. We saw none of it. So I'm like, what a blown opportunity. Now, that doesn't mean he had to approach that with the same type of strength and power. No, but tactics. He didn't even freaking try, bro. He didn't try. And that's what I got a problem with, because if you don't try, you're not going to get any positive results. What is Canelo supposed to do? Just knock himself out from being winded and lay down and pass out on the floor and be like, I can't go no more. I'm tired from hitting him with all these body punches and everything, so I'm going to lay down. That shit is fantasy. That ain't going to ever happen.
I can't argue that, man. I don't know what that was last night.
Yeah, it's a shame because, as I stated last night on my post fight, I said, dude, there are people who look up to this guy. There are people who were pulling for him because they just wanted him to be successful and something to be proud of and everything. And to see a guy that just come out and see some people who watch boxing casually, they can't tell the difference between a guy who's putting in a no effort and a guy who is balls out. You know what I mean? They can't tell the difference, but I sure can.
You was just there for a check. That's what I saw.
Yeah, absolutely. And still was praising the guy in the post press conference.
Yeah, that's just sad. Yep, they got us in the position. They laughing all the way to the thing. Sad. But that's all I want. Oh, gee, I'm gonna jump back in the chat.
Oh man, you ain't got nothing else, man. I don't mind talking to you, Mr. Shelton.
You answered everything I needed.
Well, I tell you, man, it's like, that fight with Lubin and Ramos, I'm surprised that it didn't get heated up a little bit more. But one of the things you have to look at too was Ramos was not willing to sell out completely against Lubin. Maybe he was afraid of Lubin's experience. You know what I'm saying? That's another way to look at things too. Yeah, I heard somebody say that he can't, but he does punch well. It's just that in last night's fight, he wasn't committing because he was looking at like scoring, but not trying to KO the guy. And like I said too, when you saw what happened to him in Fundora, you can understand. Why go out there and give the young guy a chance to look good by blazing you again? Use experience. The only thing that I didn't like was near the end of the first round, he was already starting to back toward the ropes. I would have been like, man, from day one in training camp in preparation for this fight, the fight is in the center of the ring. And of course, his trainer was telling him that in the middle rounds and stuff like that. But it's a really bad habit to go near the ropes, especially when you go in that vaunted part that I call the triangle, where the ring post is. Because when a guy who could cut the ring very well catches you in that area, you could be KO'd.
Yep. Nowhere to go.
Oh, and another thing. Let me say this. When I saw last night that Mel Charlo, and I've talked about this on my channel a lot. When I saw that Mel Charlo kept putting his head beneath Canelo's shoulders and Canelo was able to put him in headlocks. Dude, I said, and I've said this many times, when that happens in fights, the guy who's getting his head under the other guy's shoulder and getting in headlocks and stuff like that, he usually loses the fight or gets knocked out. And do you know why that is? Because you are allowing the other guy to get leverage, strength, and positioning over you. He can manhandle you when he's got you in those positions. That's why the great fighters never allow themselves to put their head beneath the other guy's shoulder, where he could either lean on you and push your head down beneath his shoulders and put you in a headlock, or he could just reach around you and put your head in a headlock. And see, that shows lack of experience.
Yeah, he did that a lot last night.
He did it a lot. I think he was under Canelo's armpits at least 7 or 8 times.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know what Derek James teaches, but if he wasn't able to teach that kid that prior to now, or even Ronnie Shields, because he was with Ronnie Shields before now, and if he wasn't able to learn that, now understand, I ain't getting paid for this, but I just revealed to you and everybody out there listening that when you see a fighter do that, bad things happen to that fighter after that. Remember that. File it in your data bank because it will always come back true. I'm telling you. When fighters put their heads beneath the other guy's shoulder, I ain't talking about a guy who's naturally shorter. He was taller than Canelo. What the hell is his head doing beneath Canelo's shoulders?
Right. Yeah, I'm not even surprised by this. I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because again, these are the kind of things. It's like now imagine people are watching the fights and everything, and they're like, good fight, bad fight, whatever. But these little pieces of details that I be dropping, bro, it's like people will come by my channel and they'll look, see what I'm talking about for a minute, and they'll pop out. They won't even hit my fucking like button. But if they stuck around and listen to the boxing tidbits that I drop and everything, there's not a trainer out there who's an experienced veteran trainer who will dismiss what I say. And when I'm out there and I'm on Drew Titan's show on Sunday nights and he has guests on there, he's had professional fighters, former champions, former trainers, present trainers. When we've had those discussions, none of them have ever told me that I don't know what I'm talking about, because we speak the same language. And these are the things, this is how you know people don't care about the sport of boxing. They just want popularity contests and all of this, because I come over here and I say what I say. My nickname that was giving me the sensei, that's for a reason. It's for a knowledge sake. It's not because I think I'm better than somebody. And if you notice, like when I have the call-in show, if someone wanted to be disproving or whatever, all they got to do is call in.
Oh, they're not going to do that.
Call in. And we can have a discussion. Because when I'm on this air and I'm talking about what I'm talking about, if I didn't know, you could call in and say, hey, man, that's bullcrap what you're saying. And we can have a discussion about it. But as I talk to you right now, I got 52 likes in my chat, 44 concurrent viewers, meaning present viewers.
Mm-hmm.
But I got over 230 views.
Wow.
Yeah. That says it all right there.
Wow.
That says it all right there. I ain't talk no bull crap. I ain't crapped on nobody else. I just talk about this sport. And for you brothers that have called in today, yourself and 704 Joe, you guys call in, you ask me questions. Am I not able to answer your questions?
Oh, you answered everything I was looking for.
And not only answering your questions, but I give you something to think about as well, don't I? All the time.
So,
But that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here to be running down somebody else. Or not. Dude, I'm here. I'm trying to build this up. If I'm trying to run down someone else, I ain't got time to build this up. Yeah. But that's what's up, man. That's what's up.
all right. Peace to you, brother.
All right, peace to you as well, man. I appreciate you calling. And yeah, in the future, hey, no timeouts, just throw them out. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you know, I'm like off with the head. I'm the master of the flying guillotine over here. Yes, sir. But I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for calling, man.
All right.
All right, peace. That's the brother, Mr. Shelton, out there. Yeah. KP from KC, if you want to do that, man, come on in. Okay, we got 816 in the building. Is that the brother KP from KC?
What's up, OG?
What's happening? What's happening?
A lot of silent agreements was made last night in the early part of that fight.
Oh yeah.
That boy did not want to get stopped, so he made a silent agreement to make it 12 rounds. He pulled Mikey Garcia. That's what he did.
Yep.
And his fans don't want to acknowledge it, but like we said, he was going to get stopped. They had no game plan. They had none. They had no game plan.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep doing what you're doing when you're losing every round. What the hell is that?
Where is the go for broke? Huh? Where is the turn up the intensity? Where is the attempt to try to back the other guy up and meet force with force? Lay some leather on his ass, as the old guys used to say. Where was any of that?
He didn't try to control the space. He just backed up in a straight line with his head on the line. And he got caught with left hooks and right hands when he get caught with them. And then when he got caught with them, he just continued to bail out.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh, like, it's levels to this stuff, man. Canelo has fought all those styles. He's not a perfect fighter, but he's much better than these guys because they train him to be better than these guys. These guys don't even, I don't know what the hell they be doing.
Right.
All they do is, if they can't come forward, they can't win. That's them.
Yeah.
It's
That's
very
it.
basic, man. Man,
Very-
154, if you drop that brother at 154 in 1990 with McClellan, Jackson, and all them, he'd be dead.
Yep.
His head would be off.
I agree, man.
Dude, John David Jackson would beat them guys. Not even Julian. John David, Gerald McClellan, all those guys. Mike McCallum. Dude, they got all these trainers around. Mike McCallum should be training one of these guys. These guys are playing around.
Even Terry Norris, bro.
Ridiculous, bro.
Even Terry Norris.
And I'm supposed to believe these guys is great. How? Dude, I knew when they made the fight it would be I kept telling people that. Dude went up 14 pounds, claiming he this, that, and everything. He pulled out a Cub hat. You see, he didn't wear that line, man. He didn't wear that, did he?
Listen, did you know also that Canelo making this fight ruined the division?
Yeah.
Ruined the pecking order of the division because, you know, Mel had several fights on deck. He had the Tim Tszyu fight. He had what has since transpired, because Tim Tszyu has had 2 fights since he was supposed to fight Mel at the first of the year. Tim Tszyu has had 2 fights. The Mendoza fight, because Mendoza stopped Fundora.
Yep.
You know, and then of course,
This too, Stormy.
Huh?
Remember we was hearing this? A couple years ago? Earl Spence gonna go up and fight Canelo. Are y'all crazy?
Yeah.
I bet y'all ain't saying it now.
But see, also, remember, what was it, 3 years ago? This pretty much same deal was on the table for Canelo at that time, and he turned it down, remember? And he went to DAZN. But at that time, these PBC fighters were in the mix of fighting regularly.
Yep.
And since he went over there to DAZN and finished up that deal, all of these guys who are the named guys, Spence, the 2 Charlo brothers, and who else is up there that's PBC?
Benavidez, all them guys.
Yeah, Benavidez. All those guys, with the exception of Benavidez, all of those guys have been inactive as hell.
Mm-hmm. And you seen them bring back that body last night? They got beat up too. Ugas.
Yeah.
Ain't false in Spence fight. And he gonna just get in there with Barrios. I think he's gonna win.
And the damn eye closed up.
Like he ain't fought in 2.5 years, and his eye closed up quick, didn't it?
Yep.
Inactivity, man. Inactivity.
And I'm gonna tell you something. People don't like, Fred Hawthorne from Barbershop Conversations. But he said some things. Of course, he said some offensive things to some people and things like that.
He always does.
But
you gotta be able to chew the meat and spit out the bone.
Exactly. And he has told the truth about what PBC been doing. You can't deny. Dude, it's like now all of these guys are laid up for Canelo, except for the one that you really want to see him fight. Listen, the one who should have had first dibs on Canelo was supposed to be Benavidez. Because his belt was stripped at the scales. Now I believe more than anything else that they cheated him on the scale. They took his belt from him on purpose, because that's the first thing Canelo did after he was stripped, was swoop in and fight for that vacant belt.
Dirty game in boxing. Boxing dirty game. Boxing dirty game. People better stop playing this favorite of this and the third, man, and watch. They sending them dudes out like sheep to the slaughter, because they got an active guy that been fighting. He's fighting 2 or 3 times a year. These dudes is fighting once every year and a half, bro.
And not only
get in there and just beat that guy, bro.
And not only that, he's active.
Look what they doing it to now, though, Stormy. They doing it to the former heavyweight champion. We ain't seen him in a while.
Yep.
They trying to keep him out.
Yep. But see, the difference with him, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. But what I was going to say, but not even that, he's been active, but he's an aging freaking fighter, and he's fighting less competitive fights, but that is making it look like he still got something. But if you're going in there against guys who ain't shaking off no ring rust, then I'm sorry, he's going to look better and superior because they ain't fought. And he's fighting a bunch of nobodies. And I'm going to tell you something. There might be an extra envelope if you just let him win. And don't a lot of these guys seem like they're more on the take than looking to take?
Man,
absolutely.
He took a bunch of money last night. He took a bunch of money. We predicted he was going to get stopped. But you can't stop somebody that put on their track shoes, bro. You can't. Ain't no way. When they want to engage and they running around the ring like that, yeah. Hey, I thought he was an Olympian last night, bro.
Listen, now what you were saying about Deontay, let me say this. Yeah, he ain't fought, but remember when he knocked out Helenius, he said, I want to fight 3 times in 2023. No one has stepped up to the plate to fight him once. And the reason being is because the PTB has told these guys, you don't fight him. He's blackballed.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it if don't nobody else want to say it. Deontay is being blackballed. I don't know who he upset in the PTB, but he done made somebody very upset that they have got these other fighters to not even want to take the fight with him. Andy Ruiz Jr. knows good and well that is the best money that he could make taking that fight. But they have turned that fight down, not because they are scared of Deontay Wilder, not because they don't think they can win the fight, not because they want more money. They've been told.
They've been down. Think about this, Stormy. They turned it down a fight in the middle of an economic recession. Bruh, it makes no sense. Bruh, it just makes no sense. Bro, people have to start thinking beyond the box, bro. Stop reading all the narratives that they push to you. You got to think beyond the box. Why are they making sure Deontay Wilder is not fighting? Because he ain't fought since last October, and that was only a round.
Now it's October again, so it's been a full year.
October again, brother. It's been a year. They trying to keep him out on purpose.
Yeah. See, they conspired to take his title away from him.
They did.
Because I'll tell you something. The way he was going, let's just take the conspiracy out of it. The way he was going to go after Marciano's record. And in a fierce way, not like Larry Holmes, just being undefeated, but putting people to sleep. Mm-hmm. And the way he was putting people to sleep, the wear and tear is not there. The wear and tear on D came from two things.
The 3 Fury fights, yeah.
No. I'm not talking about those. The wear and tear that came to D was stuff that happened to him outside the ring, like his accident when he got the burn and stuff, or when he's hurt his hands, right? But outside of that, putting people to sleep, people not going the distance with you. He was already 40-something and 0.
Yep.
10 more fights.
Something like that. 42, 43,
10,
something like that. Yeah.
10 more fights, and he's at the 49 and 0. I wouldn't be surprised if Floyd begged them, because Floyd know who to talk to and who not to talk to. They could come and pluck Floyd and take him out of the public eye right now if they get ready. But Floyd, I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, guys, please don't let this guy get my record. And it's not his record. It's actually Marciano's record, because we're talking about the heavyweights.
Mm-hmm.
But notice, as soon as the loss appeared on Deontay's record, here come Floyd. If he like my help, I could train him to beat Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
You freaking hater.
And you see, you notice Floyd show up last night running the press conference. He wanted to show up running the press conference. He could have been helping those guys add to their skills. All them guys on their roster, because he's quote unquote part owner, right? If you part owner, don't you want the guys that's fighting under the banner that you're under? You want those guys to be better.
Yeah, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you want those guys to be better. He didn't want them to be better. He's a boss that's envious of his employees. Ain't that some weird stuff, man? That's a weird dude, bro. That's a weird dude. Out of everything that boxing has given him, he refuses to give back in a manner that could help the people that's supposed to be under the company that he owns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't make any sense, bro. Don't make any sense.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. And
he basically became the person that he envied the most, because he envied Aaron for that, right? Didn't he?
Yep.
He basically became that. That's who he is.
Yep. But they've taken this man out of the sport. He was the most exciting man in the sport. People would pay to watch him knock folks' heads off, bro.
Yep, and they know it.
And they
know he's a ticket seller, and they took their ticket seller off the board.
Yeah. And see, I've never heard a fighter get vilified like he for doing what he does. in other fighters, they call them unorthodox. With him, they call him a guy who can't box. But anybody remember his first fight that he won the WBC championship against Stavern?
Man, Stavern, he boxed him the whole 12 rounds.
He boxed him 12 rounds and dropped him.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's a dirty game, man. It's a dirty game. They selling their guys out. All them guys are getting lined up and sold to the highest bidder. And they want to be in the Canelo business so bad, so they got it. Now they in the business of it. You know, they built him off the Floyd undercards. They set him up. Now they set him up. They want part of the business. That's all. People better recognize it. They're gonna sell y'all favorite fighters to him at a certain price, and y'all gonna believe that your fighter got a chance, and they gonna sell you this mirage that the people gonna believe in. You can believe it if you want to.
And check this out. Paramount is taking over Showtime's library. So basically, all the movies and TV shows and everything will be going to Paramount Plus. But guess what's not going to Paramount Plus?
Showtime Sports.
There you go. So Canelo has swooped in here and stole this money. He's got a he's got a 3-fight deal, so he'll get paid his money. But all these guys who've been inactive and everything, they're done.
The PBC, the guys that built it.
Yep, they're done. They're done.
They basically sold their shares to a better guy. That's what they did to him. Or have you seen this going around? The screenshot of the guys from Yellow Freight that built Yellow Freight, and all of a sudden you don't get your pension. That's what's happening. That's what's really happening to them dudes in real life.
Yeah.
Just stole it away. Gave it to another guy.
And it's a damn shame because what we see is playing out before our eyes. But some people don't want to see the truth and acknowledge it. But just think back to what I said a moment ago about guys like, Fred Hawthorne.
Mm-hmm.
Fred has said this a while back and it's playing out because this is what the schedule, the schedule has to be made and everything. But notice how late this year's schedule got made. Notice how late it came.
It's getting later and later. Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing on the horizon for 2024, is it? Nothing.
Nothing. You haven't seen that. It's October. You don't got nothing.
You see?
Put all their chips into this guy. They put all their chips into this guy. A depreciating asset. You see what I'm saying? A depreciating asset. They put their chips in.
And they allow guys like him and Triple G to become super rich through this process.
They would not let the guy from Nebraska get none of the money. You see how they did that?
Yep.
You got one fight. You got one fight, man. And then now they about to shove him because they sold the guy that he was supposed to fight if he moved up. They knew something we didn't know, that they already had a plan.
Yep.
Their plan was to sell that guy. And they sold their 154 guy to a guy at 168. And now that they sold him, now they 154 guy talking in the ring. Yeah, I just moved down and fight Terrence. Brother, they don't got no plans for you to fight no Terrence, brother. It's over.
Yep. Like I said, he went from having about 3 fights on the horizon for himself to nothing. He don't get a rematch. He don't get nothing. So he might as well take that bag.
Don't collect $200.
Yeah, he might as well take that bag that he got and go buy him another fleet of cars and tat his body up some more.
You better go buy some trucks down there. That's what you better do. Buy some trailers or something.
Yeah.
It's a wrap, brother.
It's ridiculous. All of this stuff, but we've seen it.
Right in the wall. Well, Stormy, that's it, man. That's all I got for you, G. Man, you always like to say we be taking on the same wavelength. So, hey, man, it is what it is. They done. They're done.
Yep. It's true. It's true, man. Hey, man, I appreciate your call, brother. I appreciate you, man.
All right. I tap in with you every Sunday, man. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Peace. Great call, man. Great call. There was someone who had tried to call when that call got accepted. If you're still out there and you want to try now, you can. Or I will go ahead and wrap this up because that's been just about my 2 hours, but we'll see. All right, well, I'll shut down the phones for now. Let you guys know. Focus ball, you say that was you? Because it says that was E, Stormy. You mean me? Okay. You still want to call in, Focus ball? You still want to call in? Okay, so he say next time. Okay, that's cool. That's cool, yeah. I gotta go and get me some lunch in me, man. You know, the OG gotta eat. I had breakfast, but gotta get me some lunch. But hey, man, you guys have been tremendous today. Great calls that we had. Over 260 something views. But they couldn't get my likes up over 100. It's crazy, man. But they sure was listening. I hope I gave them enough to listen to. But you know what? It is what it is. And since we got my man Healer out there in the chat, as I'm known to do during my shows, I'll show you my advertisement for the Focus Balls.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.
Yes, sir. Those are the commercial advertisements for my channel there. We got the Focus Ball and we got the Stormybman merchandise. Between the two, you can't go wrong. Get you some of that good merchandise. I want to say salute to King Vonnie 86. We got Alex Santos, Eric Jordan, Main Biker. We got Signature Sounds and Daryl Alexander. I see all of you guys were out there when we were chatting it up with the phone calls. I appreciate all of you coming through. But just know that when we're doing this thing, man, we try to do it to the best of our ability. You know, we have some hits, we have some misses, but at the same time, this content is for you guys, you know, to be able to come down and let your hair down when you talk about the sport that you love that doesn't love you back. Huh? That's the one thing about all of this. So understanding that, just know I do my best that I can. And sometimes we hit a groove and things can be very good. Sometimes things can be bad. But I want everybody to have a great Sunday. We'll catch you next Sunday. There's some great fights next weekend too. You got Gilberto Zerto Ramirez taking on Joe Smith Jr. You got Lee Wood taking on Josh Warrington. That's a featherweight battle. And listen, there's going to be a few more fights in between that as well on those cards. So we'll be talking about that this coming week, man. But salute and shout out to the mighty LDBC. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.
to this day.